Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome again to Walla Kids channel. Happy Sabbath. Yes, so today we are having a story called The Walls Go Up. What do you think about when we're talking about the walls go up? Remember we spoke about Jericho and Joshua? The walls came tumbling down. But today the walls are going up. And they're going up with Nehemiah. So our story begins telling us about Nehemiah, who was the cupbearer to King Artaxerxes of Persia. Nehemiah was an Israelite, so his friends from Jerusalem came and told him that Jerusalem was in ruins and they were in trouble. And they asked Nehemiah if he could help them. So Nehemiah was very worried and a little bit scared, but he needed to go and help his friends. So he asked God to give him the courage to speak to King Artaxerxes. Nehemiah asked if he could go. He then spoke to the king and he asked if he could go to help them fix their walls. Artaxerxes looked at him and he could see that Nehemiah was troubled and so sad. Then he said, "Nehemiah, go and do what you have to do." Nehemiah's heart sang with joy as he went to Jerusalem to help his friends. So when Nehemiah got to Jerusalem, he walked around and he saw that things were a lot worse than he had heard of or could have even imagined. This was going to be a big job. He told everyone, we have to work really hard, but with God's help, we will rebuild these walls. So everyone worked in families and in groups fixing the gates first. First they fixed the sheep's gate, then they fixed the fish gate, then they fixed the dung gate and the other gates too. Then they started rebuilding the walls. It was amazing. Their enemies first laughed at them and said, "Look at these people. They think they can rebuild these walls? Ha 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 ha." Well, the joke was on them because suddenly the walls were growing higher and higher. Then those enemies went, these guys are getting stronger. And then they decided to attack the Israelites. So the next thing you know, they were building the walls with one hand and fighting the enemies with another hand. So they had a hammer in a hand and a sword in the other. Can you imagine trying to build a wall while fighting off enemies at the same time? This was amazing. But in only just 52 days, the wall was finished. The whole wall was finished. Nehemiah and his friends did it. Ezra the priest then read God's law to the people, and they promised to obey God's law and praised him for protecting them. And that is where our story ends today. The miracle that God put together here was giving them the power to build the walls and to keep the enemies at bay. Do you think they did it all by themselves? No, definitely God was there to help them. So, after the walls were finished, who taught God's law to the people? Does anyone have the answer, boys and girls? Do you think it was King Artaxerxes? Or maybe one of the Jewish families? Or was it the priest Ezra? Did you say Ezra? Yes, well done. It was the priest Ezra. That is our story for today. The walls went up and God helped them through it. So have a blessed Sabbath, boys and girls. See you next time.